So today was a lovely day, and I figured today's is as good a day as any to start growing some vegetables in my backyard. Ever since I bought this house, I'd always sort of told myself, it'd be nice to get some veggies growing back there, especially uh, something such as tomatoes or onions, cilantro. I love salsa, and I eat massive amounts of it. Um, it's not calorically dense, and um, has some good stuff in there for you. Obviously, depending upon what's mixed in. Um, so I figured, why don't I just head on out, pick up a few things, and see if I can get that going. Now, I don't know the first thing about gardening, okay? And I fully expect some issues with what I'm doing with what's displayed in this video. But the way I've always been is if I encounter some errors, then as with all things, it is what it is. Of course, some things we have more control over than others, and this I mean I have I have quite a bit of control over how I go about this, but for me, I just sort of go along with it, and I'll see what happens. And if it turns out to be a complete mess, then drag. I'll try it again, a different way. I'll implement a different technique, or perhaps I'll, look into better methods. But I figure, I'll throw these seeds, plants in a pot, give them some water, let them have some sunlight, and see what comes of it. But I always like the idea of growing my own food in my backyard, and I had never done it. So, um, when I consider the fact that I'm going to die someday, um, it it motivates me to do things, even trivial things like this, because I don't know if I'll have the opportunity to tomorrow or the next day, or a week from now, a year from now, etc. The reality of our lives, it's going to come to an end at some point. It's just a matter of when and by what means. Um, so, some people say, well, that's quite morbid to consider that, but I do, daily, and it sort of helps me appreciate things that perhaps may go unnoticed, or I may not otherwise appreciate or value as much. Such as time with my lovely, adorable niece, or my mother, my family, those that are close to me. So, yeah, I figured today is as good a day as any. So I went out to this place called Green Acres here in California. I'm not particularly sure where they're located in the rest of the U.S., but we have at least one I know of here in California. I'm sure there's many. I picked up some tomato seeds, and some onions. I figured that'd be a decent start. My mother had grown tomatoes when I was a child growing up, and yeah, the plant just produced a lot. A lot of tomatoes. I was always surprised by that. So, I'm thinking, if anything, I'm gonna have an abundance of tomatoes and not know what to do with them. But uh, yeah, and if things go well with this, then maybe I'll grow some other things. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to see them grow, and just see what happens. So if anyone happens to see this and they know literally anything about um, growing vegetables, then I would encourage you to leave any sort of suggestions for me or practical guidance, especially if it pertains to these two vegetables, onions and tomatoes, because I really have no idea what's going to come of this. But hoping for the best. And if you're a loner like me and a recluse, you spend most of your time indoors, then perhaps you could think about growing some plants of your own and tending to them if you don't already. It's quite a peaceful activity. It's nice, especially when the weather permitting. And today was lovely. The sun was out. It felt good. So I'll just leave it at that. You guys can lay your gaze upon my very basic effort, and I'll throw some very gentle music for the remainder of the video.